Okay. So happy Friday, Liz. Why are you covering your mouth? Are you okay? Okay.
I just took a massive bite of nachos,
Ooh, nachos. We're all going to Liz's for dinner.
chorizo and black bean nachos made with things that were going bad in our pantry.
And now you're showing off like
It's
Amy.
not terrible.
Um, so I love it. Enjoy your nachos. Don't be self-conscious. Happy Friday, everyone. I am so glad to see everyone. And also want to say that we found a better way to keep all of these organized, both with the recordings and both with the upcoming happy hours. So it's not the sexiest website in the world, but we have hollyhappyhour.com that also has the recordings on YouTube. And then it links to Eventbrite to see what's coming up next. So next week, we're going to have the creator of Pop-Up Birthday, the nonprofit that does birthday parties in a box for foster children, Lila Scott, talk about that nonprofit and what you can do if you have children to keep your kids busy during that time, like some activities that'll help other kids, but also give them something to do. Cynthia, you'll probably like that. And then next Friday, we're bringing the Sparkle Squad back, and Kayla, who works with Blow Chicago, that used to be Blow Austin, is going to teach us how to do a perfect blowout. So that'll be on Friday. But y'all can check out the new website. But let's get to the reason why we're really here today. Miss Erin Cook. Many of you know Erin, but for the ones of you that don't, Erin is one of my dearest friends, and her husband own a Surf Pro franchise. And I also will say they also did our home. Erin's a design genius and very creative, and they have a I guess it would be a construction business as well. But for these purposes, we're focused on sanitation. With Surf Pro right now, Erin has been going into businesses and homes and sanitizing them. She actually did one of my old offices this week. I find it really fascinating. And she has tips that we can all use domestically so that we can keep our families and our friends, well, our friends shouldn't be over, our families safe while we're going through these times. And then she can also share a little bit about what they do professionally as well. I've really enjoyed learning from her over the past couple of weeks about how this works. So I'm going to put it on, if you want to just see Erin, put it on speaker view and she'll take up the majority of your screen.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes, you look beautiful. And the other thing that I would say is, I think everyone has been on these before, except for Dr. Amy Quinn. Hi, Amy. But if this is meant to be interactive, ask questions. We're not worried about talking over each other. This isn't some sort of professional meeting. This is happy hour. So ask questions, say whatever you're thinking, and Erin, take it away.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you for having me today. So glad that you all could spend a few minutes to get some information from us. Like Holly said, my husband and I have had 2 Serve Pro franchises for 18 years here in the Austin area, and we serve all the way from Temple to New Braunfels and everywhere in between. We do water, fire, and mold remediation. We've done hurricane cleanups, flooding, you name it, biohazard remediation, from postmortem cleanup to viruses like what we're experiencing right now, and even things like drug labs. So when disaster happens, we're kind of the first, one's line of defense that people call. And so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is everyone's wondering, what can I do to kind of keep myself, my home, healthy and clean, and think about the things that you do in your normal everyday life, even though you're not going out as much or around people. There's stuff that we participate in that we just don't think about. So there's 3 different levels of cleaning. So there's sanitation, and then there is disinfection, and then there is sterilization. And so sanitation is your typical house cleaning, what most people do when they're cleaning up around their house, wiping down their counters, whatever they might find underneath their sinks, and just cleaning it, so to speak. Those products don't eliminate microbes or anything that can live on hard surfaces. The next step is called disinfection. And so these are products that can be used to inactivate microbes. They can kill viruses, but they do not eliminate mold spores. And so that's the biggest difference between disinfecting and sterilization is that products used for disinfecting do not kill mold spores. So while we're talking about disinfecting, there are certain products that you can use that you may hopefully have at home. A lot of them are sold out right now. But typically people have them at home that you can use to disinfect your house. One of those is bleach. There's different kinds of bleach. There's concentrated and there's regular, and it will say on the front of the bottle what kind it is. Either one is fine. They're just mixed differently depending on which one you use. And the instructions should be on there, but Holly usually provides us an area to send out tips and things like that when this is over. And so I'll send all of these out so that you'll know. Concentrated bleach is typically a 1/3 cup of bleach per gallon of water. And then regular bleach is a 1/2 cup of bleach per gallon of water. And so you can use that to sanitize countertops. And what we're talking about is hard surfaces, high touch areas that you touch every day. Doorknobs, toilet levers, toilet paper dispensers, your faucets, your countertops, your cell phone, your laptop keyboard, your mouse pad, your mice, your printer, things that you don't think about. Cell phones are one of the dirtiest things that we have. We go to restaurants, we set them down on countertops. We can't live without them. They're not sitting in our purse, right? People take them to the bathroom. It's gross, but people do. People are so tied to their devices. And so things like that to disinfect every day really make a big difference. So bleach is one of those things that is a disinfectant. Do not use bleach to sanitize your skin. It will burn you. It is not a good idea to do that. Do not bathe in bleach. The other thing is do not mix it with ammonia. Don't know if you know that. People have tried to do it. It is actually very toxic and gives off a poisonous vapor similar to mustard gas, and it can kill you. So use bleach by its own, mixed with water. Don't mix it with any other products if you're going to use it to disinfect. Alcohol is the next one. So there's isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol, which we all know what that looks like. I don't have a bottle of it because it's sold out everywhere. And then there's alcohol, which is ethanol that we drink. So to use isopropyl alcohol, it needs to be at least 70%. So if you get the isopropyl rubbing alcohol, you take that, you can mix that with water and use it. Ethanol, however, you need at least 120 proof to be able to use alcohol that you drink. So a lot of these things out there saying, oh, you can use vodka and sanitize your house. No, you can't. It's only 80 proof, which means it's only 40% ethanol, and you have to have at least 60% ethanol for it to be effective. Plus, then your house would smell like vodka, and nobody wants that.
You're breaking my heart.
Yes, so I would recommend make yourself a little toddy with the vodka and then use bleach if you want to clean. And then the next one is hydrogen peroxide. You can actually use that. A 1/4 cup of hydrogen peroxide to 1 cup of water can be used for disinfecting, and those are common household products that everybody has. Then the next step is sterilization. And so this kills bacteria, viruses, fungi, and mold spores. And things like that, steam cleaning, like running your dishwasher, right? That sterilizes the stuff in your dishwasher. Autoclaves, like they have at hospitals, that's what they use to sterilize their equipment. Those things are sterilizers. And so we have chemicals that are EPA registered. They actually have numbers associated with them that the CDC approves to use for COVID-19 and other things to disinfect. And those are products that are not immediately available to the public. We get them through wholesalers or we get them through Servpro. We know how to use them. They have to be mixed correctly, and we know how to apply them. So that's why they're things that aren't automatically, readily available. And that's what we use. We have 2 products that we are using right now. One is called, I don't have them because we're using them out in the field, is Foster's 4080. And this is a ready-to-use product that comes in a 5-gallon drum and you immediately apply it. The other one that we are using is called MetaClean. And this one, you dilute it, but they're applied the same way. And so basically what we do is we apply it to non-porous surfaces. We let it dwell for 10 minutes, and then we come back and we wipe clean it and we let it air dry. The difference in these products versus like a bleach or some of the other ones is that they have a residual value. So they can last up to 90 days being active on the surface they're on. Now, of course, once you have people coming and touching door handles and highly, touched surfaces, it's going to degrade the value of that, but it is still a much more effective product at staying long-term and fighting off those harmful bacteria and viruses than just regular cleaning products. And so go ahead.
Can you, because I just learned this from you in the past couple of days, can you explain exactly what a high touch surface is?
Yes. So high touch surfaces in your home are going to be your kitchen faucets, the door handles to your refrigerator, all of the door handles in your entire house, your toilet levers, the toilet paper dispenser, your laptop keys, your cell phone, your mice, anything that you are touching all of the time that you don't think about, your kitchen counters, your bathroom counters, the door handle to your shower, things like that are constantly being touched by multiple people are high touch surfaces. And when we're talking about commercial spaces, it's all of those same things, but then also included are water coolers, the stall doors for every restroom, the soap dispensers, the towel dispensers, elevator keys, the elevator doors, stair railings and stairwells, all of those kind of things that everybody is touching every day, constantly, all day long. When you think about if you go to work, you may leave work 2 or 3 times a day, depending on what you do. So one person could technically hit elevator buttons 4, 5, 6 times a day, depending on what they're doing. So it's multiple uses over and over again. Also telephones at offices, we've been doing a lot of those, and filing cabinets are a big deal, especially common area ones, and printers and copy machines. So there's just a lot of things like that we take for granted every day that a lot of people are around, and you don't know what their practices are and who they're coming in contact with and what they're doing. And so for us to go and be able to do these disinfectings, cleanings are really important for businesses that have a lot of employees and in and out. While a lot of businesses are closed, there's still a lot of essential businesses that have at least half their staff still there, and no one knows what happens when they leave and go home. Are they abiding by the 6-foot rule? Are they staying at home mostly? Did they go to the grocery store afterwards and then, not clean things? So we see a lot of companies wanting us to come in and clean office space right now. But for your house, these are things that you guys can do every day and use these products, and they will be super beneficial to you in keeping things clean. And one of the biggest, things that, like, stories I was thinking about the other day, I go to the gas station, I get out of my car, I touch the gas handle, I get gas, and then I put it up, and then what's the first thing I do? I touch the door handle to my car. So now whatever has been on that gas pump just got on my car door. Then I get into my car and I touch my steering wheel, I touch my console, I touch my radio button, I touch my phone, whatever is in there. So you're cross-contaminating all of the different surfaces that you've touched just by going and touching that one gas pump. So one of the biggest things that we can do as individuals to stay safe and clean is to wear gloves. If you go to the gas station, have a glove, use the glove to get gas, take the glove off and throw it in the trash before you even touch your door handle and get back in the car. If you go to the grocery store, take gloves while you're pushing your cart, throw the gloves away as soon as you're done with the cart, but before you get back in your car. So a lot of those things are preventative and can really, really help to keep the spread of viruses from migrating place to place, which we call cross-contamination. I know there's a lot of questions too about masks and should people be wearing masks, should they not? So the purpose of a mask is to keep somebody who is sick from getting other people sick. So these N95 masks, the 95 basically means that 95% of the particulates that are in the air are not going to get through that mask, but 5% still are. A virus is like the size of a cell. So those viruses can still get through that mask. But the point is of those kind of masks is for people that are sick, if they cough and they have mucus and things like that that are coming out, that it is blocking it to keep well people that are outside of that mask area safe. Now, when you're in a medical situation, hospital situation, caretakers are going to be wearing masks because they're taking care of sick people, and that makes sense. But the majority of people wearing a mask around day to day, just out and about, it's not going to do as much good if they're not sick and they're not coughing or doing anything like that. If you've got somebody that's sick, they yes, should wear a mask. But it's really the people that are infected that should be wearing them so they're not spreading their germs to those that are not. And I was just actually watching the coronavirus task force, and they said that, hey, if you want to wear a mask or face protection, you can. It's not recommended. And they're saying not even masks because they really want those to be saved for healthcare workers. But if you wanted to wear a scarf or a bandana or something, you could. If you're somebody that has a compromised immune system, probably a good idea to do that because you don't want, to come in contact with somebody that's sick. What questions do you guys have about what you can do for your house or what we do or what's different?
So when you're talking about the household items or materials, how do you know how to mix them? And then what do you use to apply them?
Okay, so I will send you guys a list on how to mix them in my follow-up, but they're all mixed with just some with water. And the way that we apply everything is through a spray bottle. So you don't want to take water and something and mix it together and then just start pouring it on your countertops or pouring it on things like that. You want to do it in a spray bottle to where you can spray it, apply it, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then depending on the surface, take a soft cloth and wipe it down and then let the rest of it air dry. If you're using one of the bleach solutions, do not use it on certain metals because it will etch. And Holly knows this from her kitchen door handles that we bought that are brass. So her cleaners were obviously using some sort of cleaning that had some sort of bleach in it, and it etched one of the handles. So you want to be careful about things like that because it can be corrosive in that way.
Thank you.
Erin, have you heard anything about setting up like a disinfection station in your house for when you're bringing in groceries and things like that? Do you have any suggestions on how to do that or what level of clean I need to do? Every time I go to the grocery store, I feel like I'm bringing a bunch of bombs into my house.
So I would say that the products and stuff that you're buying more than likely are fine. Most everyone at the grocery store is wearing gloves when they're bagging your items. And so those should be protected and be okay. If you're wearing gloves while you're shopping and then you throw them away and get in your car, that's another safety step. But one thing you could do is before you get home, wipe off the door before you even open it. Maybe take a little bottle of solution that you keep in your car, spray the door handle, open it with the glove, and then throw the glove away. And then you can bring everything in your home, unbag all your groceries. If you put them on the countertop, take all of the all of the bags, put them in the trash with gloves on, and then wipe down your surfaces again. The more you do it, it can't, hurt. I wipe down my house probably 2 to 3 times a week, just countertops and bathrooms and stuff with Clorox wipes as a habit, regardless of whether we've got COVID-19. But I think anytime you're entering or exiting a new area, to take those same steps with a glove and applying disinfectant, you're just one step ahead of being able to protect yourself.
Erin, I have a question. I actually don't have any gloves and I haven't looked for them. And I know that the grocery stores don't have Clorox wipes. Where are you guys finding these supplies right now?
Well, the one benefit of being a business is that we have wholesalers and we have business accounts that we're able to get supplies like that from. So we don't use bleach. We're actually not allowed to use bleach as a Serve Pro. We have our own chemicals. ServPro has its own chemist, their own chemists and their own laboratory in Nashville, Tennessee, where they make their own chemicals. And then the other two chemicals I showed y'all that we're using, we get from our wholesale supplier, and get those along with gloves. We actually don't have masks. We are out of masks. ServPro can't get us masks. Masks are nowhere. So that's something that's an issue everywhere. But you could look, if you have a business, I could recommend Amazon has business accounts that you can open up. And so then you are, can get access to different types of things that the general public can't get. I know Colin, my husband, just ordered some gloves the other day off of Amazon that I couldn't find under my personal account, but because he signed up for a business account, he was able to get them. Okay. They may not be Prime delivering in 2 days, but he's getting them next week. So that may be one source that you can try to find them from.
Erin, is there a way for you to sell product to the rest of us, or is that not allowed?
I know. I wish it was. It's not allowed. Unfortunately, ServPro prohibits us from selling product. We could probably make a fortune at this point if we could sell everybody something. And we do work for almost every home builder in town. We do all the warranty work that they have. And we've been cleaning their sales offices and their trailers and their studios, where you've got a lot of people coming in trying to pick out all the decor that's going to go into their house. And they're like, hey, can you give us a little bit of product to leave behind or sell us some so we can clean? And unfortunately, we're not allowed to do that by our franchisee contracts. But I will look up, one thing I will do is see if I can find some other resources of where some of these products that people are having a hard time finding. I mean, bleach, honestly, is one of the best things that you can absolutely use, diluted the correct way to disinfect. And I feel like those things hopefully will come back sooner rather than later, be easier to find as people, settle down a little bit and aren't out a lot. But I'll look at the Amazon business account too and see, because I know that he just ordered some, like I said, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and we're supposed to get them on Wednesday. Whereas if you Google, nitrile gloves, it's like, good luck, they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah, Erin, I was going to ask that same thing about access to the masks. I guess the CDC just changed their stance and now is recommending that everybody wear masks. And there's even some cities that are giving you citations if you're out in public without a mask. So that could eventually come to Austin.
Yeah, I haven't heard about citations, and I was just watching the task force update, and they were saying that it's a recommendation, not a requirement. So I hope that they're not citing people, especially when you can't find them. If hospitals can't find them, I don't know how they're going to find individuals for that. But I think they said any face covering, a bandana, a scarf, or something like that, would be sufficient. And again, it's really for those people that could be ill or could be sick that it's most important for those people to wear them. The biggest thing about healthy people with this kind of virus, and I'm not a doctor, but is that we are the ones that can be carriers and be asymptomatic and give it to other people that could become infected. And that's why the social distancing and everything is so important for people to stay apart, because I could be walking around and have it and really not show any symptoms or not get anything too bad, but pass it along to somebody else, and then that person could become very, very ill. And if the theory is correct that this virus has come from an animal, that is why, and the ability for it to proliferate has made this so scary, because we don't have any antibodies built up for this kind of virus like we do for other viruses that have been around for a long time. And there's no vaccine. And because it's a retrovirus, it can live in your body for up to 5 days, before there's any symptoms or anything like that, and it's spreading. And so that's why, there's been so much focus on the social distancing and keeping people apart from each other. And, we'll see. We don't know if it's going to be a seasonal thing. We don't know if it's going to come back like the flu does, or if it's going to be something that is one and done. And there's a lot of unknowns out there. But the thing that we can do right now to protect ourselves is to do things like disinfecting and using the right products, and just being a lot more aware of what we do day to day. I saw a lady today. I left the junior league from when we were cleaning, and I had to stop in somewhere. She had on a mask, and it was like this. It was below her nose.
Oh.
And she had on gloves, and I just thought, that's not doing you one bit of good. You know, you can, because you breathe it through your nose just as much as you can breathe it through your mouth, or it can go through the air in your eyes. So wearing them the correct way. And a lot of people too, when they have on a mask, they still tend to touch themselves or lift the mask up and scratch their face and scratch their nose or something like that, and they've touched some other surface that could be infected. So if you really don't wear the mask properly, or if you don't disinfect the mask and clean the mask, it's no good either after a couple of uses. So those things are important to understand too.
What other questions do y'all have? Okay, we have Amy, my friend Amy, who I grew up with, is on, and she's actually a doctor. And I was like, oh, is there anything to add? Amy, what has Erin not covered that we should be thinking of? She just sent me a text that said, you're smarter than she is, Erin.
Okay, let me unmute myself. I'm sorry, I've got the toddler and the dog barking. So, no, I think for us, I mean, Erin, you covered everything. For us, I think, can y'all hear me? I'm sorry, the dog is being crazy.
You're fine, Amy.
Yes.
And then for us, I work in a neonatal ICU, so we're around sick babies, is appropriate hand hygiene. So I can't emphasize enough, wash your hands. So like I go to the grocery, I'm trying not to go to the grocery store, but if I go to the grocery store, I come home and I wash my hands. I take the groceries out, throw everything away, wash my hands again, right? Because I can't find gloves. They're locked at the hospital. I can't find hand sanitizer anywhere, because as soon as it says it's available on Amazon, I try to click it, and you can't find it in the grocery stores. But interestingly enough, hand soap's easy enough to find. So we've been very lucky with that. So I think from my standpoint, hand hygiene. I mean, now, Erin, of course, I need to clean my house, but
That's the other thing she texted.
I do have bleach.
You know, one of the funny things we do a lot of biohazard cleanup, and like I said, that includes a lot of post-mortem cleanup. And when we were first in business, my husband was doing those himself. And after he started doing that, he washes his hands incessantly. And one of the things that he was telling me this morning was that a lot of people forget to wash their thumbs and their fingertips when they're washing their hands. If you go like this, like when you think about when you're washing your hands, most of the time you're doing this, right? And you're not washing your thumbs or getting your fingertips. So make sure you get your whole hand, all your fingertips, and sing the happy birthday song until you're done, and then wash it off.
Like preschool.
I saw hand sanitizer at the dollar store 2 weeks ago.
Kimberly, that was a lifetime.
Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
What did you say?
What?
What did you say?
Kimberly said there was hand sanitizer 2 weeks ago at the dollar store. I said that was a lifetime ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but they're getting it in their shipments, and it's gone in a couple hours. But if you hit the timing right, when I was there, they had like 40 large bottles.
Tima, I see your response. Are you going to Rudy's, or I'm guessing that you can't order that online?
Yes, I'm going in. I have one of my friends is in management there, and so we have one right by our house that we go into. There's no one is going into Rudy's, and it's just there's not a lot of people in there. They're constantly cleaning. I know someone that's in management, so I feel better about it, but that's about the only place that I'm going in. But they have like a little store now, so they have eggs and milk and flour, all the things that you can't find in the grocery store. They do have some of that, so it's something. So
That's a great tip. Thank you.
Erin.
Hello.
Hi. You look so pretty.
So nice. Thank you. I put lipstick on for the first time in 2 weeks today. So,
Well, it looks good. I have a question. Cullen ordered some Vital Oxide. You may have already covered this and I missed it, but have you heard of that? And do you think it's effective for cleaning and disinfecting?
I have not heard of that. I do not know what it is, but I would say to go to the CDC website and see what they say.
I'll send you a link.
It does say it's an EPA registered product, and it says it's COVID approved from what I'm just looking up right now. So more than likely, if their information on their website is true, then it's okay, but you can go to the CDC website, and you can also look up Vital Oxide and find out what the EPA registered number is, and if that's the case, then it probably is.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Elizabeth, why are you laughing?
Because you're just the cutest.
Erin?
Erin's playing now.
I know this is not super exciting stuff. It's more exciting to talk about mold remediation and biohazard postmortem cleanup, but we're not talking about that today.
She's a little jealous that your closet cleaning one was more popular than hers.
Oh, no.
I said closet cleaning is much more sexy than disinfecting.
Oh, I missed the first part of this. I'm sorry.
I know we were saying that before anyone got on.
Oh, okay. It's an important topic.
Yeah, I would say too, any of you who work in offices or have your own businesses, feel free to pass out my information to anybody. We've got employers that are wanting to, like I said, disinfect at different stages for those that are open right now that still have employees there. So we may go this week, like in our construction trailers, we have one builder that we're going every week and we are disinfecting because they constantly are still having people in there. There might be other businesses that are totally shut down and they're waiting to see where the tail end of this is going to be before they want someone like ServPro to come in and clean. But the more of those that we kind of have teed up and are ready, we're going to start compiling a list so that we can put people in order of preference to get those knocked out. Just because based on kind of what we're hearing, we feel like there's going to be a mad rush at the end once they say, okay, everybody can go back to work, or these types of businesses can go back to work. There's going to be a lot of commercial spaces that need to be cleaned, and I have a feeling the restoration industry is going to get pretty overwhelmed trying to cover all of those.
Awesome. So just like normal, Erin will send y'all an email today or over the weekend with the tips that she mentioned. She'll link to the recording. And of course, y'all can ask her more questions. And this was helpful. You're right, Cynthia. I loved it. Erin, thank you for spending your time with us and for jumping on some of these other ones. I mean, you're one of my closest friends, but I love sharing you with other people as well. And hope to see y'all all again next week, either on Wednesday or Friday, to talk about pop-up birthday activities you can do with your kids that'll help a cause. And then Friday, like I mentioned, back to our Sparkle Squad, learning how to do an awesome blowout. But y'all have a great weekend and a great Friday evening. And Erin, thank you again. This was really, really, really cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
Bye, y'all.
Erin, great info.